Hello, everybody. I am live here with Deon, one of our top teachers on Off to Class in 2021. And today I'm going to discuss with Deon different ways that you can transition online to become more full time. Essentially, Deon has worked transitioned from one career to basically working full time English and has a lot of insight in how you can do that as well. So, hi, Deon. Nice to meet you today.
Hi, nice to be with you.
Thank you. Where are you located right now?
I'm located in Pretoria in South Africa.
Oh, wow. And what time is it over there?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. So it's quite the change from over here. I'm in Toronto, Canada, folks, so it's just 11 a.m. And Deon, so how long have you been teaching English for?
Uh, I've actually had students for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did my TEFL course and that the year before. So I've been involved with the English for 2 years. First doing the TEFL course and then trying to find a student, which wasn't easy.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that then. How did you find your students? Where do you get them?
Well, I teach on Preply and Amazing Talker. So I registered on the two sites and jumped through the hoops and got my profile ready and redid my profile and redid it again until they said it was nice enough. And
Mm.
then you wait. Um, I waited about 3 months for my first student
Oh,
and
yeah.
made sure I kept her so that she's still my student. But yes, it takes a while, but when the first one um, connects with you, then they start coming in a bit quicker. So
Absolutely.
it's just a question of getting that first one. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you get the first one, I think your profile does a jump,
Mm.
and you can then you become more visible, and then they start contacting you.
Very nice. Do you have any tips for teachers creating an English teaching profile? Pardon me.
Don't be in a hurry.
Don't be
Um,
sorry.
don't be in a hurry.
Don't
You're
be in
not
a
going to get
hurry.
students quickly. I see on Preply has a tutors page, a Facebook page, and I see on there everybody asks at least once a day. Somebody asks, "How long before I get my first student?"
Mm.
Um, and this takes a while. So be patient. It will grow, um, and it will eventually start growing fast. So you'll get students, you'll lose students. Don't
Mm-hmm.
lose hope. Stay positive, um, and just keep going at it. And eventually it'll grow. I've got 33 at the moment.
Wow.
Um, so yes, they just keep coming, and you lose one or two, and then you gain two or three, and so it keeps going.
That's really good to know. I think it's so important to have patience as well. And I know you were telling me prior to this event in our discussion that you've taught quite a few classes since you started. Do you know how many you've taught? Or
Well, it's between 1,100 and 1,200
that's a
that I've
lot,
taught.
Dion. That's quite a bit.
So yes, it's, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I started the other day. Um, I do an average of 6 to 8 classes on a day. Saturdays I normally do about 8 because then everybody doesn't work at work and they can do classes. So everybody fights for those classes. So some
Mm.
days I'll do 4 and some days I'll do 8. And it all depends on how they book. But um, I don't get despondent when I've only got 4. I think of that, oh, there's a nice rest day today, and I
Yeah.
make use of it and take a rest. And um, then the next day, today I only had 4. and tomorrow I've got 7.
Oh wow.
So
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 balances out.
they up and down.
Absolutely. And so you said your students often have work. So what are your students like? Are they adults? Are they young learners? Who do you teach?
Well, I've got people that are 55, and I've got 2 little girls that are 8 years old,
Oh,
and everywhere in between. So I've got students preparing to go to university. I don't
oh.
actually have school children as such. I've got students that are preparing to go to university, and mostly business people.
Mm,
Um, a lot of people that want to prepare for interviews and that type of thing, which I'm quite good at. I've got a success rate of about 95%. And
wow.
the person that didn't get the job is because he refused it. So
Deon,
he
that's
brought my
incredible.
percentage down.
That's incredible. So you're a bit of a you're specialized in business English, it seems. Do you have a background in English yourself? Sorry, background in business yourself. Pardon me.
Yes, I spent 40 years in business.
Wow.
Uh, I had, um, of those 40 years, I spent about 30 in the hospitality industry. And then I went across to the motor vehicle repair industry,
Wow.
and which is where I still am, but I'm scaling down and starting to work. I'm now working half day in between my lessons.
Mm,
So this is my full time job now, and the working for the company I worked for before is just in between. So I've got a 30-minute break between each lesson, and I do what's necessary in those 30-minute breaks.
that's so smart. It's so good to see that you can balance teaching English with another job opportunity. And how did you actually get into teaching English? How did you start transitioning?
Well, I when COVID struck South Africa,
Mm,
my company thought that it's a good time to uh, scale me down because I was rather expensive, and they cut my salary and they made me half day, which suited me because I'm turning 60 this year, so I need to find something to keep myself busy so that I don't die quickly. I need to keep the brain going, and I
absolutely.
can't see myself after 40 years just sitting around all day watching TV or reading a book or something. So this is ideal. Having been in the hospitality industry, I'm used to talking to people all day. So
Mm,
that's what I'm doing. I'm continuing to talk to people all day. And now it's people all over the world. So I know at any stage of any day how the COVID pandemic is doing in Taiwan. In Hong Kong, it's now rising. Their new restrictions kick in tomorrow.
oh wow.
And I know how it's doing it in Israel. I know how it's doing in Italy. Uh, I even know how it's doing in Canada
Wow. So
and Brazil.
oh, you learn a lot from your students and you have an array of them from around the world. Wow.
Yes, they are all over. I've got in Colombia, Mexico, Brazil, Canada, Israel, Qatar, Spain, Italy, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Malaysia. I might have
Wow.
missed 1 or 2 countries.
The list goes on. That's incredible, Deon, and I think it's so inspiring for people who want to get into teaching English at a later time in life or while they're in a different career position. Because do you think you're it seems like your experience in hospitality was a great conduit to get you into teaching English. Do you think there's so many other skills that are transferable from your past experience to that led you to teaching English?
Yes, one of the things that helps me a lot is that I've learned about people.
Mm-hmm.
I know people. Uh, I know quite a bit about body language. That helps me.
Ah,
Um, I've done interviews. I've done thousands of interviews. I've attended many interviews. So I've got the privilege of being able to say to a student, um, I had a Spanish student that wanted to go to Mexico, and did four. She had four interviews lined up with four companies, and each one of those was four interviews. And when she finished the third one, I said, now you need to be careful because what they're going to do now is everybody's found out what you do and how you do it and why you do it, but somebody's going to find out how you deal with pressure. So these
mm,
people are going to she was an advanced student, and I said to her, somebody's going to tell you that your English is not up to scratch.
oh,
And
okay,
somebody's going to give you an impossible test to do.
okay.
And both of those came up. They did tell her that her English wasn't good enough, but she was prepared. I said to her, well, if they say to you your English is not good enough, then all you do is the most important part is stay calm
Hmm.
and say to them, well, I apologize that my English is not up to the standard that you want, but I am working on it. I have a tutor that's helping me with my English, so it will be up to standard pretty soon. She actually got three of those offers and eventually decided on one of them. So, and that is with all of them. With the experience, I have been able to tell them what to expect.
Nice.
And with the body language, I had a student this morning that said to me, "Oh, okay." So I said, "Okay." And we're actually doing body language and gestures. So I said to her, well, your mouth said okay, but your body said you don't understand this. So let's do this again until you understand it. Until she said, oh, then I knew, okay, now we can carry on. So you need to know people and what they do and what they say, because a lot of the students will just say to you, I understand, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't. If you're not watching them, that's why I have two screens. I have the student
Oh,
full screen over here, and I've got the off the class lesson on that screen.
smart.
So I can see them in a large image. So I can see how they're pronouncing words. I can see what their facial expressions are like, and in that way, I know what to do next.
That's such a great setup. I think a lot of people can learn from that. I know that you said in your past, in your other work, you were actually teaching English to some people that you worked with.
Yes, in the hospitality industry, um, South Africa has 11 official languages. We use English in government, so it is actually the main official language. But a lot of these people do not, English is not their first language, they can hardly
Mm,
speak it. So I had to teach them how to communicate with my customers in English in order to get them to be able to sell my products. Uh, so that's the part that I enjoyed about the job. The rest was all difficult and
mm-hmm,
boring. But teaching them and explaining to them what they must say, how they must say it, that was the nice part.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's really good, actually. Um, so sorry, pardon me. I have this cat in the background, of course, being a bit of a menace. Of course, I wanted to know actually, how do you use off to class in your classroom, in your teaching?
Wow. I approach the teaching English in two ways. I attack it from two sides. Uh,
Mm,
Obviously, grammar is nobody wants to do grammar. I
mm-hmm.
feel that it is a waste of time
Okay.
if you send the student who comes back as upper intermediate or advanced, the placement test, they've got grammar mistakes at A2 level.
Mm,
So, and what they're actually paying me for is the speaking lessons because
I
they
got
want to
it. Okay.
improve on their speaking. But if they don't speak properly, if they don't know the grammar, they can't speak properly. So I actually send them the grammar as self study. Uh, I assign it as homework. They do the
Smart.
homework. It comes back to me, and I check it. And then in the next lesson, um, we go through that homework quickly. So one of my selling points actually is that if a student books 3 lessons a week with me, he's actually going to get 6,
Mm-hmm.
which is already a 50% discount, and they like that word. So after each lesson, I actually send them a grammar homework. The important thing that we must remember with these lessons is don't try and finish a lesson in one go. So my lessons
Okay.
are 50 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
I always use 2 lessons to get through one lesson because if you're watching your student, you'll see that they don't understand all the vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
So once we've done a slide, I would say to them, okay, so what is that word? What does it mean? I don't know. Okay, let's have a look at it. Let's discuss it. So I don't move on to the next slide before that student
Oh, okay.
understands the first one completely, which means that it takes me 2 lessons to get through
Oh.
one. Some students take 3 lessons.
Oh, wow.
So
I like this approach.
so
You're doing it
you
based
just
off the
take
student.
yeah, take it, work at the student's pace. Don't work at your pace. Uh, if you work at your pace, the student's not going to understand what he's just learned. So he needs to know that vocabulary. And then when we go to the next slide, um, they need to use that vocabulary further. Uh, on the homework, for example, we also have an option on speaking lessons to type the answer and record it. And they are not allowed to, in my classes, read what they typed. They've got to tell me in completely different words
Oh my gosh.
what they typed, what their answer is. So I let them practice as much as possible. I don't talk too much, but with my past experience, what they do like is I can give them examples about anything. All the topics on that uh, on the list, I know a little bit about, so I can sound very clever and
Mm-hmm.
uh, speak about anything and ask them
Mm-hmm.
questions and make them speak more. And it just you need to get them to speak as much as possible and do their grammar on the side. So
Mm.
with doing the grammar on the side, I've got 3 students that have gone up a grade
Wow.
in less than 3 months.
In less than
Um,
3 months. Wow.
and well, the placement test judges their level according to their
Okay.
grammar. So as soon as they finish the grammar, uh, what they made that they made mistakes in, we do a placement test again because that's very important. Is they need to see how they're progressing. So we do placement tests as regularly as possible. As soon as
Oh,
you finish the grammar you've done, you get another placement test. And then you make mistakes again, and I send you that as homework. And as soon as you've done that, you get a placement test. And as soon as you've done that, I'll give you a placement test again.
that's
Um,
smart.
one of the other things that I do is I get the student to record the first lesson
Oh, okay.
on his side
Okay.
because when you're doing just speaking lessons, there's no ways they can judge themselves. So I get them to record the first lesson. And after the fourth lesson, the fourth lesson they record again, because I explained to them that their confidence, especially the Asian students, confidence will increase within the first three lessons. So on
Mm-hmm.
the fourth lesson, they watch this again and they see, but there's a massive improvement. I haven't done anything. They've
Wow.
they've just got confidence. Their confidence has improved. They've started relaxing, and they see a major difference. And they think, "No, this is a good tutor." Uh, while I haven't done anything, because I can just watch the two videos and say, "But I couldn't speak in that one, and I'm speaking in this one." So then they get motivated and they feel like working harder. And they say, "Bring the grammar lessons."
That's a really good strategy. I've never actually thought of doing that personally, and I think we're having that student record that first class and then being able to compare and actually literally see their progress is so important to keep them motivated and to inspire confidence. So I think
It does.
that's a good tip.
It
That's
does.
such a good tip. And the way you incorporate the placement test is very interesting. Are there other off to class tools that you also like to incorporate in the class?
Well, not really. I do the, like I say, we do the homework.
Nice.
We do the when with my two screens, it's actually very handy because I put the student's face on half the screen, the dictionary on the other half, and the lesson on that one. So as soon as he's struggling with a word, I just type it into the dictionary and I can explain it to him. And there's no looking and falling around. Um, we also do, I have some students that do the curriculum. So
Mm,
they do the progress tests regularly. Uh, and I had one student that got very upset when she only got 70%.
sorry, pardon. I
Um,
couldn't hear you there.
she, she got very upset when she only got 70% for the progress test. So I said to her, well, we'll try it again. We'll do the next one. And then, but now you must concentrate on what you're doing. Um, and with the speaking lessons, I get them uh, to uh, to sometimes they need to write something. I let them write in the chat, and
Mm-hmm.
then I check it. I check their English. Obviously, on the homework, I check their sentence structures, punctuation, spelling, and those types of things, and correct that. Um, and I also get them to, especially in business English, where they've got to learn to write emails. And
Nice.
and I get them to email me a few of their emails, and we go through it. I think it's very important that one doesn't just concentrate on the time that you're making money, because my students mostly stay with me for 6 months or longer. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, my student in Italy has been was my first student. She's still with me, and I've got students that they take lessons with me, but the one lady does YouTube videos in
Oh,
Italian,
really?
so with English subtitles. So she sends me the text, and I check it for her, correct it, send it back to
Wow.
her, and that's what she uses. But she's got to write it first. But just before she posts it, I check it for her, and then she uses it. Um, and people send me their students send me their CVs. I check them for them. So I
Wow.
do a lot of extras for my students.
So, what I'm getting from you is that it's really important to use your past experiences to be able to incorporate them in the classroom with the current students. So, you're
Yes.
using your business experience and hospitality, which is really useful for other people because I know a lot of people think, how does this career translate into teaching? But actually, there are so many careers that do. And then
Mm.
you're talking about how you're able to use off to class and complement it with other different resources in order to meet the needs of each student. I wanted to know, just on a lighter note, did you have any teaching highlights of 2021? Because it seems like you've had so much success and you have so much strategy behind your approach. So I'd love to hear about any experiences.
Well, I've got many students that have uh, got jobs um, that they applied for because I actually have 30 questions where I explain to them why the question is asked and how you should answer it. And I prepare them on those 30 questions and also teach them body language so they can read what their interviewer is doing. So I had, I've had many students, about 15, 16, that
Wow.
have had success with getting their jobs. Um, I've had a student that started with me and she couldn't speak, and just over 2 months later she did a business presentation for 50 people and
Amazing.
did not stutter, did not struggle. She was confident. Her boss actually came to her and said, "Well, what did you do?" And she said, "You need to speak to Deon. He'll help you." I had another student that's in university studying finance. When she started with me, she couldn't speak English. She was terrible. And we started talking and working on this, getting her confidence. And then she applied for an internship with a British company.
Wow.
Uh, that was about 2.5 months after she started and got the job. Um,
Wow, Dion, you
so
have so much success just within a year. Your students are you're seeing life changes because of your tutoring. That's incredible.
well, they do it. I
And
don't. I just
yes, you're
ask a
very
lot of
humble, but
questions.
I can see why you are one of our top teachers of 2021 and why you're so high rated because your students are getting so much value from your lessons. I wanted to also know, are there any ways that you focus on error correction with your students, or are there any ways that you work on correcting them in general? Because I know some students, they love to be interrupted. They're like, tell me right away what's going on and what I'm doing, what's wrong. Whereas other students are like, let's leave that till I'm done this whole section of, or activity rather.
It differs from student to student. The advanced students don't interrupt them when they're speaking because they've got a train of thought and they need to work through it. But in after class, you open up the little section where you can make notes, and you just sit here and you make notes of the mistakes, and afterwards you say to him, "You said that, but you should have said that, and this is what you should do." Others, the lower level students, you need to correct straight away
That's
because they
good to
won't
know.
even remember what they said in the
Mm-hmm.
previous sentence. So when they make a mistake, when they pronounce it wrongly, um, I would say to him, "It's not schedule, it's schedule,"
Mm,
and then they correct it straight away. And some of them say it 3 or 4 times and then carry on with the sentence. So it all depends on the student, um, what level they are, and what they're trying to learn.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But you need to correct correct them at the right times. Then they love it.
That's good to know. Okay, I'm really liking this advice because I think you're providing so much insight to new teachers at any age and who are going to work with learners at any juncture. And I just wanted to clarify, how old are your students generally? You
Well, as I've
said the
got students that are 55 years
Oh
old,
yes, yes.
and then I've got some that are 8 years old.
With that, I wanted to know, they're all different levels, right? You're not necessarily going to see someone at 55 years old being more advanced than someone say at 8 years old. I just wanted to clarify that because I know there's this misconception that oh, someone's older, they're going to be more skilled. Do you think that's true?
No,
Okay.
it all depends on their English level. I've got students that are, my one student's 44,
Mm-hmm.
and is on A2 level.
Okay.
Um, and I've got an 8-year-old that's on A2 level. So you just need to adapt, and um, you basically do the same thing, except for the little ones, the children. You need to let them sing a lot
Mm-hmm.
so that they get the blood pumping, and
Yeah,
because an hour lesson is too long for them. So
it
uh,
is.
I start with a song. I have a song in 15 minutes time. I have a song at 30 minutes. I have a song at 45 minutes, and we close off with a song, and they love that.
Such good advice. So it's really amazing to see that you're so flexible with your students and that you find out what they need and cater to them. I think that's so important. It's not a
one
one size fits all description every student.
One important thing, if I can, before we finish,
Of
um,
course.
that I do is I insist when my student says to me, I'm going on vacation, I want photographs. I want to see where you went. I want to go on holiday with you. And they come back with these photographs, and I say, okay, now you explain all this to me. Share your screen and share your holiday. Tell me all about your holiday. And they love that. Then in December, I went on holiday and I presented this 30 times. I had to show them all the wild animals I saw and everything. And we build up an amazing relationship. Before I start the class, I say, "Well, how's your kids? Your wife was sick last week. Is she better now?" And you need to build up that relationship with your students and basically become friends and family.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you'll keep them for a lifetime.
That's so true. And then they are probably going to recommend you to their friends who need to learn English. The power of
M-
word of mouth, right?
Many of those have happened. I started that first student of mine recommended one person who has recommended four after that. Uh, then Martina recommended her sister to me. So they 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 just keep. I've gone busy negotiating with a student in Brazil who was recommended by my current student. They work together, and my student said to him, no, you must speak to Deon if you want to improve your English. And so he's now, I think he's having a trial lesson next Tuesday.
Amazing.
So it happens, the recommendations come a lot. If you put in the effort, you do the extra, you build a relationship, they feel quite happy referring their friends and family to you.
That's great. And I know you're looking to make your own teaching website and go independent soon. So that's pretty incredible to hear since you just started at the start of a pandemic and here you are. So it's a very doable and scalable idea for other people to
Yes,
venture on.
yes. You must just not. I find that a lot of these, when I look on the Facebook pages, everybody's complaining about money. I think they should rather concentrate on a concept that I learned uh, very early in life. Don't work according to what you paid.
Mm-hmm.
Work according to what you want to be paid. So even if that student is paying you $5, give him a $20 lesson,
I like that.
and he will enjoy it. You'll enjoy it, and um, I also see that everybody says my student was absent. So what? Life happens, you know. If you insist on being paid for every lesson where your student was absent, why don't you greet him as you charge him because he's going to leave? Uh, Reschedule his lesson. He then feels, no, this is a good teacher. I had a problem and he rescheduled my lesson. I'm still getting my lesson, and he'll stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so if you're looking at it that way, you're going to get $10 for a lesson you didn't give. Um, I'm going to get $500 for a lesson that I didn't give because they're going to keep taking lessons with me.
Exactly. You want to,
So,
it's life happens, especially with adult students, families,
yes,
work, exactly. So being patient and understanding that. And again, being having it seems like you have these genuine connections with your students, and sometimes teachers shy away from that because they're like must keep it very distance. But I really like your approach that if you want to gain meaningful communication with someone, you have to have a meaningful connection.
if you want your student to enjoy the lesson, you need to laugh in the class. They relax if you're laughing, they enjoy the lesson, and they look forward to the next one. If you keep it businesslike, he gets bored and he
Yeah.
goes to someone else.
It's true. I would want to learn English with you, Deon. I'm enjoying our conversation so much. I'm like, oh, I can see why people want to have lessons with this teacher. Deon is excellent.
Thank you very much. Uh,
I've really enjoyed getting to know you and discussing your approaches, and I've learned a lot from you, and that's what I love about the teaching community. We have all these different philosophies, and it's so important to hear them. So thank you so much for sharing with everybody here.
my pleasure. I hope it can help somebody.
Oh yeah, definitely will. You gave great advice, and there's so many people wondering how do I start? What do I do if I don't get a student right away? And you very much alleviated a lot of these concerns people have. So I very much appreciate that, Deon.
It's only a pleasure.
Thank
Um,
you.
I love one of the things I like doing is helping other people. So if I can help anybody, they can let me know my some way. I don't know how they would do that, but I would help them with pleasure.
Aw, that's wonderful. And when your website's all ready, what I can do is we can make an announcement to share it with our other teachers here, just if you're, that's something that interests everyone. So thank you
That
so
would be
much.
great.
Yeah, I'd love for everyone to see what you're doing because this has been such a wonderful interview and can't wait to see your website.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Deon.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Same to you.
Thanks.